Only 3% of seniors can still do these 8 things after 70, and what that reveals about longevity and independence will shock you. What if I told you that these seemingly small abilities are more powerful than any pill or treatment? Stay with me till the end, because understanding these 8 things could completely change your view on aging and might even change your future. Let me take you back to a story that still echoes in my mind. I was visiting a senior community center in Kerala, and I met Mr. Thomas. He was 81, and as I approached, I saw him doing something unusual. He was tying his shoelaces while standing. He wasn't holding a wall, wasn't shaking, and didn't even realize I was observing him now. That might sound like nothing to a younger person, but I promise you, it's everything. That simple act told me more about his health than his medical records could. That single movement meant his hip mobility, spine flexibility, balance, and leg strength were all in harmony. As a doctor with over 30 years of experience in geriatrics, I've seen the body system slowly unravel, but I've also seen them preserved in extraordinary ways. Most seniors lose these abilities gradually. One day they stop squatting to pick something up, the next year they avoid stairs, and then suddenly they need assistance with even basic tasks. The terrifying thing is, they rarely notice when these changes begin. They accept them as normal aging, but what if I told you aging isn't what you think it is? What if I told you that loss of function isn't just aging, it's disuse? Let's talk about the first ability, bending down and rising up from the floor without using your hands. Picture this. You drop your keys, can you pick them up without bracing yourself on a table? That simple act involves coordination across the knees, hips, core muscles, and even ankle stability. I had a patient, Mrs. Iyer, who once said, "I never knew I was getting older until I couldn't reach under the bed without groaning." But once we started retraining her squats with a chair at home, she regained that ability in 3 months. She went from depending on her daughter to retrieve things to independently managing her space again. It gave her dignity back. Why is this important? Because the inability to rise from the floor without support is strongly linked to future risk of falls, fractures, and even mortality. Studies from Brazil and Japan have shown that people over 70 who can't do this are far more likely to become disabled in the next 5 years. Not just a statistic, it's a signal from your body. Now let's move to the second ability, standing up from a chair without using your arms. I want you to meet Mr. Rahim. He's 76, a retired banker, and he lives alone. During a routine checkup, I asked him to stand from a seated position without pushing off. He smiled and did it with ease. I asked him how he stayed so strong. He said, "Every time I sit down to watch TV, I stand up 5 times before I sit back. That's it." Side chair stands twice a day. No fancy gym, no protein shakes, just repetition. That one habit kept his thighs, glutes, and core active. When he had a fall 2 years later, he caught himself before hitting the ground. That strength saved him. Here's the hidden truth. When you stop standing from chairs on your own, your body rewires to depend. You unknowingly begin to atrophy your glutes, your back, and your confidence. It's a slow surrender. The third ability, lifting and carrying 10-15 pounds. Think about grocery bags. Can you carry 2 full ones from your car to your kitchen? This isn't about bulk strength, it's about grip endurance, shoulder mobility, and aerobic capacity. Mrs. Latha, 73, told me, "I do all my own grocery shopping because I want to stay useful." She uses canvas bags, fills them just enough, and walks an extra lap around her house. That's her ritual, and it's helped keep her blood pressure in check, her posture upright, and her hands strong. We often forget that grip strength is directly linked with longevity. In fact, low grip strength has been shown in multiple studies to predict early death more accurately than blood pressure. Do you see the pattern? These aren't gym workouts. These are daily movements that you stop doing, and your body forgets how. But here's the good news. Your body can remember. With consistency, you can rebuild these functions even in your 70s or 80s. The fourth ability, climbing stairs without using the railing. Most people stop trusting their knees, but the real culprit, lack of practice. Mr. Kapoor, 80, told me he walks the stairs in his building twice a day, not because he has to, but because he chooses to. And I asked why. He said, "Because the day I can't, I'll be one step closer to the bed." Powerful words. Climbing stairs demands coordination between heart, lungs, quads, calves, and brain, and it's one of the fastest abilities to decline with age. I want you to imagine this as a ladder. Each of these abilities is a rung, and every time you lose one, you move one step closer to dependence. But every time you preserve or rebuild one, you extend your independence by years. The fifth ability, balancing on one leg for 10 seconds. Try it now. Stand, lift 1 foot an inch off the ground and count to 10. Did you wobble? Did you need to hold something? Your vestibular system, inner ear, core strength, and proprioception all work together here. Falling is the #1 cause of injury in seniors, and balance is the shield. But balance can be trained. One of my patients, a former Catholic dancer, lost her balance after a stroke. Within 6 months of daily barefoot standing drills, mirror practice, and core exercises, she regained her control. She now teaches balance classes at her local park. The sixth ability, walking backwards. Why? Because walking backwards requires more neural coordination and challenges spatial awareness. I teach all my patients to do 5 backward steps a day. It rewires the brain, strengthens the posterior chain, and improves confidence. One man told me it cured his fear of falling. Seventh ability, getting into and out of bed without assistance. Sounds basic. It's everything. Bed mobility reflects spine, shoulder, neck, and trunk control. When that goes, hospitalization risk spikes. Rebuilding it takes just one move. Roll, press, and rise 5 times a day. Eighth and final ability, standing on tiptoes and holding for 10 seconds. This tests calf strength, ankle stability, and overall nerve-muscle connection. Calves are your second heart. They pump blood back to the heart. Weak calves mean circulation suffers. Now, here's the twist. Most seniors think they lose these because of age, but it's not age, it's disuse, and disuse is reversible. Every one of these 8 abilities can be regained or maintained with less than 20 minutes of daily effort. You don't need a gym, you don't need a coach, you need consistency. You need awareness. So now I ask you, how many of these 8 can you still do? Don't feel discouraged, feel empowered. Because every story I've shared today is real. These are not superhumans. These are ordinary seniors who made extraordinary choices, and you can too. Aging isn't a sentence, it's a signal, and your body is always whispering to you. If you've listened this far, I want you to do one thing today. Choose one ability. Just one. Practice it. Then tomorrow, another, and in a week, you'll feel the shift. Your independence is not lost. It's waiting. So stand tall, bend low, walk backward, rise again, because you are still capable, and because independence is not a privilege. It's your right. Thank you for watching. Stay moving, stay curious, stay strong, and share this video with someone you love, because these 8 things might just keep them standing on their own 2 feet for years to come.